Alright guys, welcome back. Gonna do another episode for all you tackle junkies out there. A lot of people asking me what rods, reels, setups that I use for a lot of the light estuary stuff that I'm doing. So brim stuff, flathead stuff, light snabber stuff. Let's get into it. We'll start off with the Samurai Reaction, which is a very light setup with 100 Stradic CI4 Plus on it. Spool that generally with anywhere between 4 to 6 pound braid, and basically what I'm doing with that is I'm cranking a lot of pontoons. It's hard to show you how flexible that is, but very light in the end, throwing out light plastics, light crankbaits, light shads, all that sort of stuff. Cranking boat hulls, pontoons, all that stuff I love to crank. Basically that's what I've got in my hand for 90% or 80% of brim comps and stuff like that. I've got this rod in my hand and I'm working pontoons, man-made structure, all that sort of stuff. So price wise, very expensive, getting up, it's in the 300s. So, but definitely worth the money. I mean, it's full graphite, full, you know, goodness, very fast, 2 to 4 pounds, so very light. So if you're throwing out stuff that's like 2 grams or 3 gram lures, 4 gram lures, stuff like that. Very fast, 7 foot, with the Stradic 100, very light. So brim basically is all you're gonna really want this for, is brim, very finesse brim stuff. So very good. And the Stradics obviously you can pick up for $1.99 if you find a good deal for the 1000s and 2500s. So get that India. All right, so next up we got the Megabass Racing Condition. All right, so it's a 7 foot rod again, 2 to 8 pound, and paired with the Stradic CI4 Plus 2500 with, I think, 6 pound on that, I think. So 6 pound on that, and basically very fast rod, similar to the Samurai, but not as fast. You can throw things up to like 6 gram sort of lures on these. Anything from crankbaits to soft plastics. Generally, I'm throwing like a crabby soft plastic on this, or a cranker crab, something like that. Yeah, very fast rod. It's a good all-rounder actually. If I need to crank boat holes or whatever, I can do that. If I need to throw light plastics or a cranker crab, I can do that. If I need to throw out like a jackal chubby or a big sort of crankbait, I can do that. So it's pretty good all-rounder. In terms of price, I think the rod's in the 300s again, and the Stradic, you know, $1.99 obviously. You can get a good deal on those, or $2.30, something around that for the new models. So yeah, good for brim. I suppose flathead, I've caught flathead on it before, but I wasn't particularly targeting flathead with it. But it'll catch flathead. I think I caught a 50 centimeter flat on this a couple of months ago. So yeah, definitely can do, and have a look. All right, so next up we've got the G Loomis GL2. So again, a 7 foot rod paired with a 2500 Stradic there, CI4 Plus. Now I've got this one spooled with mono because I'm throwing, basically all I throw with this is top water. Got a nice little top water lure on there, spooled with the mono, as you can see. This is the older version of the CI, but still works fine. I mean, I think they just upgraded the look in the case. So yeah, 7 foot rod, a little less refined than the other 2 rods there, and I'm pretty much using this exclusively for top water. So plenty of flex in the rod. I'll run a clip and show you. Very nice action, especially for working the walk the dog sort of style, sugar pens and all that sort of stuff. So keep that in mind. Price wise, I think maybe 200 bucks you can pick that up for. And then obviously the reels, you know, I got them for $1.99 I think, when the model was running out. So yeah, I mean, probably not the most finesse rod that you're gonna get, but definitely a looker, and it's a little bit cheaper than those other ones, so keep that in mind. All right, next up we've got the 13 Fishing Omen Black, which is a 7 foot 1 rod with the Stradic 2500. Again, the older model. I got 2 of them I think at the same time for $1.99. You can throw anything from fairly light, very light, to anything up to 1/4 ounce, say. Yeah, so you can chase flatties with these, you can chase bream with these, good all-rounder rod just in the estuary. I've broken probably 2 of these rods, very, very high graphite rod, so yeah, you don't want to knock these around too much. Be careful if you're going to buy one. Around about $1.99. So yeah, I mean, give them a look. 13 Fishing, just keep in mind that they are very, very high modular graphite, so you got to be pretty gentle with them. So rip to all the ones that I've broken in the past. All right, next up we've got the Dobyns. This is a 4 to 10 pound, so you can throw anything from 1/8 jig head to I don't know, like a 3/8 of an ounce or half an ounce. Very light. Again, Stradics, love my Stradics, get them on there. This is a very light rod, very light, fast action. I've actually got a big hard body rigged up there for chasing flatties and stuff like that. So yeah, basically if I'm going flatty fishing, I've got this rigged up with anything from a hard body to a soft plastic or whatever you need really. And this will punch well above its weight as well. So I can go and target squire, like shallow water squire and that in the bay, in Moreton Bay and stuff like that. So yeah, very, very good all round. I've got this bull with 10 pound. Usually I'm running 10 pound braid with a 10 pound leader. And yeah, this is sort of on the heavier end of the estuary stuff that I do. And then anything heavier than this, I'll go up to my heavier rod. So yeah, Dobyns rods from the States, so you'll notice that it's got all the drop shot and whatever, which basically means nothing to me. It's just a nice rod, quite expensive, but definitely worth the money. The Champion XP, very light in the hand, very, very light in the hand. You can throw this all day, not a drama. So I definitely would give them a look if you're looking for something that's on the higher end. Now, I'll just do a couple of honourable mentions because these are all fairly high priced rods. Now I've gone through a lot of rods, I've bought a lot of rods, I've broken a lot of rods, and so yeah, I can speak from experience that if you buy quality, you're going to get more quality. But then with the quality, again, like I was saying, the high modular graphite rods, you need to be a lot more careful. So don't just go throwing things in the boat, or you're not going to buy one of these rods for your kids or whatever. So keep that in mind. But some honourable mentions, the Arrow, the new Atomic or Major Craft Arrow, whatever you want to call it, very good, very close to the Samurai, both in just everything. I think they pretty much took that Samurai and said, here, copy this and make it cheaper. So that's a very good rod. The Raider rods, Shimano Raider rods, I've used a lot of those when I was first starting out. They're quite good rods. I've still got a couple getting around if I get any guests on board that are a bit, you know, heavy-handed. I'll just give them a Raider. So yeah, obviously look at those and you know, Abu Garcia and stuff like that, but just pick stuff that's, just have a look at the more expensive rods and then try and find something that's cheaper, that's sort of based off those more expensive rods, like I said, the Arrow and such. So basically that's the nuts and bolts. That is the nuts and bolts, guys. So like it, subscribe it. Any other questions, I've pretty much covered it. I'll probably do another video with heavier gear later on. So yeah, just keep an eye out for that, and see you on the next one.